guys? Good evening to you. It is the nighttime, so that's what we say. That's what we say at nighttime. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to come in. What we're talking about today is your secret weapon in your business and why it actually matters. Okay? Everything in my world is going off right now. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to be able to pop on here. Super stoked to talk about this because I'm going to be giving you guys a real life example of how much it really, really matters. It's wild. It's wild. And this is going to be an example from my own business, right? So it's you gonna get it. You gonna get it whenever we talk about this. So give you guys a couple seconds to come in here. So I try to drink a good amount of water every day, and I have just realized that I have barely had any, and it is 6 p.m. my time, so we can imagine the late night I'm gonna have waking up all night. Too much info? Maybe. Stay hydrated, my friends. Stay hydrated. Okay. Give you guys a couple here. Michelle, Tuesday blessings. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Melissa, hello from the Golden Gate Bridge. I love and need secret weapons. Yes, girl. You know I love a secret weapon. You know I love a secret weapon. I give my people tools and weapons. Well, they're kind of weapons. We're not violent people, you know, but they're kind of weapony. Whenever it comes to competitors. I mean, it just kind of is, you know, it just kind of is. Krista, hello, lady. Hello. See you guys all popping in. I love this. You get to see how dark it is outside. Sherry, we were out covering up flowering plants. Wait, we're out covering our flowering plants because we're getting freeze tonight in the Phoenix area. You guys, I cannot with what is happening with the weather right now. It is here in the next couple of days. It's like we're swinging from like the 30s to like not even hitting the 60s. And for Central Florida, that's wild. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, why is it so cold? That is the question. I feel like that's a question for another video. I feel like there's another video that could be made solely on the question, why is it so cold? It's 3 degrees right now, Krista said. Man. Well, I don't feel so bad. I'll stop crying about my 30 to 60 because 3 is, that's where you start to say, I'm just going to be in bed, you know, I'm just going to be in bed all day. Renee, it's typical January cold in Illinois. Yeah, girl, that's, you in the Midwest, you get to a certain point where cold is cold and you're like, I don't know. It just hurts. It hurts. And this is where we're at right now. Right. And, it just is what it is. Sherry, Melissa, it's not my fault. I don't like it either. Renee, it was -2 here this morning. Don't you miss Illinois? I miss the people. I don't miss that weather, girl. I do not miss that weather. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and hop in to the amazingness that is, I have 3 computers open in front of me right now. I'm going to open up, let me make sure I'm muted. I'm going to open up this video because I'm going to need to pop in something later. Oh, Martha, get your life together. Just get it together, you know? Just get it together. All right. There we go. Oh my gosh, Sherry. Oh wait, Melissa. It's hard for us to follow 65 to 70 right now because every place is cold, though 50 plus isn't actually cold. I don't know. Yeah, it's not actually cold. That's true. It's true. All right, guys. So Here we go. Christina, good evening. Martha and friends, good evening. Good evening. I like our nighttime talks. However, whoops, almost fell out of my chair. I've done that before. Some of you guys know I've done that before. Um, uh, I like the nighttime talks. I'm just not always like awake and ready for the nighttime talks. You know, a lot of times I'm just like, oh, okay, I have lost all of my brain cells. It's like I lose them all day long. And then, you know, in the morning they regenerate and it's great. And then I lose them again throughout the day. So, what we're going to be, this is so funny. Somebody just commented on one of my shorts, one of my YouTube shorts, which is a funny short. And they just said blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I was thinking the same thing. I feel like I'm talking too much, except they're not talking on this. Anyway, so what we're going into, let me get my notes in front of me. What we're going to be talking about is your brand's secret weapon. And in case you're watching this and you're like, but I have a business, not a brand. No, you have a brand. Okay. You whether you think you do or whatever, if you think that you have a snow cone business, if you think you're a chiropractor and you're like, no, it's a business, Martha. It's a brand. Okay. It's a brand. Whether you want to say it is or not, I could also just say that the title is your business's secret weapon. Let's just do that to make everybody okay. So your business's secret weapon and the real reason that it matters. Okay. So, I'm going to start with an example of myself. I have a fuzzy in my nose. Okay. I'm going to start with an example of my own, and I'm going to illustrate this in real life. And then we're going to talk about all of the different things that it affects. Okay. So rest assured that watching this is going to make you better. Okay. You're not going to get to the end of this video and be like, well, that was a waste of, however long. You're going to be better because of this. And 9 times out of 10, what usually happens with my students after I do a training is they're then up all night. Okay. So holler if you hear me. If you are one of those people that have been up all night after a training of mine, it's a thing and it happens. I get you like we're I don't know. I can't even think of words right now. You'll be up all night. All right. Yeah, Michelle's like, yes. Oh, Elisa, red is your color, girl. It is one of my colors. I did the House of Color thing. It is one of my colors, the crimson, the dark. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. So here's the real life example from me. So a lot of you guys know that in February of 2016 is when I left GoDaddy to go start on my own and do my own thing. And the very first thing that I did was I started my own agency, which now looking back on it is like, you did what as your very first thing, right? And yeah, I started an agency, did that. But anyway, I started, so my very first thing that I ever did was a local business agency. We did very, very well at it. And then eventually a couple years into it, I was like, man, I'm doing so well for these other companies. I wonder what I could do for myself. I wonder if I could do an online business. I wonder if I could do this personal brand thing. I wonder if I could do that, And so I parlayed and I tried it and blew it up. It was very, very successful. And so we have grown since then an 8-figure online brand, right? Or online business, whatever you want to call it. And so that is where I've been kind of living for a pretty long time. So since about 2018, I've been in that online business, online brand world, and so I've been helping people's businesses. I've still been working direct with corporations. I've been, CMO of a tech company. I've done these different things, right? But it's been from the online space. I've been sort of like, I've just been on the internet. I'm one of those people on the internet. And so that was my, my calling card was that I was online and I was able to market everywhere. Right. Well, whenever we just moved back, from Austin back to Windermere, right outside Orlando, whenever we moved back, I was like, man, I just have a heart for local right now. Like, I really just want to focus on local businesses because while I help people with personal brand, I still have all that stuff and it's still working and it's still doing its thing, right? But my goal is to serve families, honestly. Like, my goal is to make sure that families are okay. And when I look at local businesses, who owns the local businesses, right? That's families, guys. It's the families own the local businesses. And so if I really want to serve the local or the families the way that I want to serve them, then it's local business is really my space. That's going to be where I can really, really show up in an amazing way, right? Because what I can do is I can bring my expertise of online business building and I can marry it and click it in kind of with local business marketing. Because when you do both together, it all blows up, right? So when you know how to do both really well and have a track record for both, then you can just kind of blow up people's businesses, which is awesome in a good way. We don't destroy, we blow up in a good way, right? So anywho, all of that to say, I was talking with someone the other day, and I was talking about some trainings that I'm going to be doing and that sort of thing. And they said that they looked over at their, I think she looked at her husband. I can't remember who looked at who. There's a husband and wife. And one of them looked at the other. And they said, where has Martha been this whole time? Here's my point for all of that. Here's my point. I've been here for about 5 years. Take away the 8 months that we were in Austin, okay? But I've been here in like their same zip code for 5 years, okay? The reason they didn't know it is because I wasn't talking to them. Let's kind of let that sink in for a second. They had someone in their backyard who is world class at what they do here in sales and marketing, right? They had no idea because I wasn't talking to them. I was talking to the online space, right? I was doing my thing in the online space. I wasn't focusing in and saying folks in Orlando, folks in Windermere, folks in Winter Garden, folks in, and really getting into that. Now, let me tell you, your secret weapon is knowing precisely who your people are. Okay. So in the online space, when I do that, I know who my people are on the online space and I can speak to them. But once I started speaking to my people in a local space, once I started doing that, now those people know that I'm here also. Okay. And so you guys need to know your secret weapon is going to be knowing who your person is, knowing where they're at in the buying process, right? In their awareness process, what it's really called, right? Thank you, Eugene Schwartz, for all of that. He did a ton of work on that, wrote a great book. But that's what we need to know, is we need to know who our people are so we can speak directly to them. So now they know that I'm here. They know that I'm here for them. They know what I can do for them. And it's all, and And so the world has kind of exploded for them, right? But let's also talk about what else it means, because it's not just communication. Okay. A lot of the things that I talk about are messaging and communication and copy related. And because communication is like 90% of the game, but communication is getting their attention and getting them to understand that you're here for them. Okay. Now, whether you're going to grow your business is if you built your business for them. Now let's get down, okay? Because communication, the reason that it's 90% of everything is because if you don't have their attention, nothing else matters, right? And so that's why communication matters. That's why the messaging matters. It's why the positioning matters. It's why all of that matters. It's so much is because people just literally will not even walk down the road if they don't think it's their road. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why. But even if they start walking down the road, let's get down, because even if they start walking down the road, if what you have isn't what they believe they need, then they're going to turn around and they're going to go down another road. They're going to think, oops, I've made a mistake. I've gone in the wrong place. I don't know what I'm doing here. This isn't for me. I don't know what this is, right? I don't know why I'm here. So you could have all the great messaging in the world, but not have what they actually need or be able to identify it to them as something they need that they're aware of. Does this all make sense? Is this like, are you guys tracking? Let me know if I need to like redo any of that. I feel like you're tracking. Usually when you're quiet, you're tracking. So let me know, and then I'm going to keep going. But do let me know, okay? Because then we're going to pop into other things that matter with who your person is. It's not just what you say to them. Like I said, that's how we get interest. We need to know. We need to be able to give them what they're actually looking for. Okay. I'm seeing some likes and stuff. Okay, all good. I'm tracking. Yes, perfect. Great. Yay. All right. Cool. Love it. So now what we need to be thinking about as they're coming in, this is it. I love it. Tracking. Okay. You guys are the best. This is gold. Well, shoot. All right. Well, y'all are, don't blow me up, you know, I'll never make it out the door. Yep. Makes sense. Perfect. Okay. So now if they know, if your copy is speaking to them, your social media is speaking to them in a way that they get, right? So like for me, it's, you know, Orlando area business owners, Orange County area business owners. Like if that's, then they would be like, what? Yeah, that's me. Okay. I got a business, you know. If they can do that, now the next thing that you need to do is you need to be able to create a suite of products. Okay. A suite of products that they need in the way that they know they need it. Let's go back to my example of a chiropractor. I did that on a video last week. It's Tuesday, so it was last week. Yeah. Time. I don't know. But chiropractor, let's go ahead and go back to that example. So you could be, you know, general chiropractor, just Joe Schmo cracking bones, you know, Joe cracking bones, the bone cracker. You could be that, or you could be the chiropractor for the children's chiropractor, right? Or the well, not a family chiropractor necessarily, but I would say because you want sub niches. Okay, so something very specific. Let's just talk about kids. So a children's chiropractor. So a lot of people these days, specifically people that are open to chiropractors in the first place, want more of a holistic approach, or at least want to first take a holistic approach to their kids' health before just popping them full of a bunch of chemicals, right? And so what you could do is you could specialize in, doing chiropractic care on kids. Except you would even want to get more specific. So as you have seasons happen, right? So these are the things that you need to always be thinking about. You as a business owner, I almost want to stand up here. You as a business owner should always be in a creative space of problem solving. Okay. If you're not, like, I feel so bad for you. You should always be in a creative space of problem solving of what else can I do? What's a different way to present this? What do they need right now? What am I hearing? What am I listening for? If not, life just gets real boring. Okay. I know that it has to, but what you need to be doing as you're, running your business is you need to be thinking, okay, what season are we in? All right. Well, if school just started, it's very, very likely that all the kids are going to get sick. They all get sick like within the first month because everybody brought their germs back to school. That's like, it's the thing that happens, right? And especially kids that just started school, right? The things that we know, like, just kind of think less about what everybody else is doing. We talked about this before. It's so important. Think less about what everybody else is doing, and they're doing this discount and they're doing, so I should do. And then everybody does this like dramatic race to the bottom on what they can charge for things because everybody just undercharges everybody else. That is not what we're doing. We're setting ourselves apart, so we're not even in the same race. Right? They can all race themselves to the bottom all they want. We got our own lane and nobody can touch us. That's our goal. That's what we do. And so, what I want you to be thinking about is like, okay, so that season that kids go back to school, everybody gets sick, except the people that get the most sick are the 6-year-olds, the 5 and the 6-year-olds. The ones that have just started kindergarten, they're the ones that are really getting sick because they haven't done this before. This isn't like every year, and your antibodies, grow or however that all works. But that's the 5 and 6-year-olds haven't really had that yet. Right. And you would know this because you're in that business, you're in that world. Well, why don't you have like marketing available in the schools? Why don't you have like, you could run Facebook ads or your Google ads or whatever, and you could be targeting parents of kindergartners. You can do that, right? Parents of elementary school kids. You can do that. I think you can go as specific as kindergartners, but you don't even need to be able to pick that as an audience, so to speak. You could also reach out to the schools and say, hey, do you mind, what can we do to be able to work together so we can make sure that the kids are healthy? Like, what can I do to help you guys? Vice versa. This is where you actually start integrating yourself into communities. Okay. So now I'm really going down a rabbit hole. So I'm going to pull myself out of that because we're getting too in specific on things, but understand that's what I do. Hi, I'm Martha. I cannot help myself. I can't help myself, but that is what I'm talking about when knowing who your person is and what you're going to deliver for them. If you're choosing your person to be, right? If you're wanting to be a chiropractor for kids and have that be one of your sub niches, do you have to only do with kids? No, you can have other sub niches, right? And we'll be talking about that in a thing that I'm doing next week. But in just one of them, if that's what you're choosing, then what you're going to do is you're going to create an offer only for that group, that only makes sense to that group, that only speaks to that group, right? For the time that they're in, for this season. Let's not make offers that get old and that die and that get less like bleh, or more blah, really. Does that make sense? If you do a set it and forget it situation on your offers, you're bored with it. Why wouldn't everybody else get bored with it? These are real questions that we need to be able to answer for, you know? And the thing is when you went into business in the first place, you had an excitement, right? You were excited to start this business. You were thinking, oh, I'm going to be able to help these people. I'm going to be able to make this money. I'm going to be able to ultimately help my family do X, Y, and Z, right? I'm going to be able to do whatever your goals and whatever your dreams are is why you started your business in the first place. Most people, usually within a year or two, are either out of business or they're just not excited about it. And it becomes drudgery. It becomes exhausting. It becomes a job. It becomes work. It's no longer that thing that you fantasized about. And even more so, maybe you even look at it like it was a fantasy and like, I was never going to be able to do that. That was my dream. I was never going to be able to do it the way that I really wanted to do it. Right. Like it just wasn't, I was naive. And I think that's sad. You weren't naive. You just didn't understand sales and marketing the way that it needs to be understood because it's so melancholy out there. When you look at sales and marketing trainings and stuff like that, it's all the same and it's boring and everyone's gotten used to it. And so they just see you as another billboard. And I would venture to say you don't deserve that. What if all it's going to take is some tweaking of copy? What if all it's going to take is just some understanding of who your person is, of how to position your products, right? Of how to be able to create content in a way that they respond to. What if all that it takes is creating a sales approach for the person that you really want to, have as a customer or a client? Because that sales approach is not going to be the same sales approach as anybody else. It's not. You can't sell something to me like I'm a dude, bro. You got to sell something to me like I'm a homeschooling mom that knows her way around the internet. You gotta sell something to me like I'm a smart lady that also makes, in my opinion, very educated choices, but also is a little sassy and enjoys a good sense of humor, right? You gotta sell things to me in that way for me to really buy in and for me to really become loyal. Here's what most people don't realize is that brand loyalty actually starts with the sale. So whenever if you do happen to get somebody to buy from you, right? That brand loyalty, that, people staying with you forever and ever, amen, and telling their friends and getting referrals, that brand loyalty starts whenever they first buy from you. It's that first second. It's the very first thing. It's that first email that says, hey, you made a good choice. Here's what we're about to do. This is going to be fun. This is here's the lay of the land. Here's the blah, blah, blah. Here's the, setting it up. That's where you really start to hit brand loyalty. Sales is awesome. It makes the world go round, right? Marketing brings in the sales, feed the machine or whatever. What we want is brand loyalty on the other side of that. So if you're just selling to whoever, then whoever is going to buy it, but you have a smidgen of an understanding of what to be able to say to them in that welcome email or in that, that onboarding sequence. You have a smidgen of an understanding of what to be able to say to them so you can build brand loyalty with them, so you can have them understand who your brand is and what it means to them. If you're just selling to everybody, you can't do that. And so ultimately what that means is that you keep spending more and more and more money bringing in new leads and new sales, while in the meantime, it's a revolving door. And the minute they come in, they go out. Whereas if we know who our person is, we're creating products for that person. We're creating messaging and a whole communication. If they came in this avenue, they get spoken to in this way. We know who you are. We're going to talk to you as exactly who you are, right? And so when they come in that way, we make sure that we handle it that way, right? That is going to then create referrals. So when you bring in a lead, it's more likely to become a sale, but then that sale is more likely to become 10 sales later as they tell their friends. And those sales don't cost you anything, right? You don't pay Facebook for those sales. You don't pay anybody else for those sales because they're coming in as warm leads. They're coming in as referrals, right? That's how you build a business that not only you are, that you're proud of, but that's a business that keeps building when you have bad days. That's a business that is able to sustain itself. You don't have to. I used a visual earlier today in one of my groups of, most local businesses kind of look at things this way. Michelle, yep, you had me at hey. Most businesses, local businesses, kind of look at lead gen and sales in this way, or it feels this way to them. It feels like they're constantly pushing the boulder up the mountainside, right? And every month they start over. The boulder starts at the bottom and they start pushing it up again. And then the next month it starts at the bottom and and it's just exhausting, right? Whereas whenever you're working with knowing who your buyer is, communicating to them as such, creating products for them, and being able to weave it all together for them, and getting the referrals on the back end of that, what you're actually doing is you're pushing the boulder up the mountain. And then the next month you push it up further. And the next month you push it up further until finally it goes over the other side. And that's where your business is building itself. Now, do you still need to continue bringing in new people? Yes, of course, but that is not difficult. Guys, when your business is growing, you have all the energy in the world to bring in new business. When you feel like you're treading water, which is what most businesses are doing, you're either feeling like you're treading water or like you're losing money every month. That's the reality. That's the reality, okay? And so if you feel like you're treading water or you're losing money every month, how much energy do you really have to bring in new business? And what energy is it? It's panicked. It's scary. I don't know if I'm going to make my mortgage this month. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay for my space this month. My kids got school coming up, That isn't the energy that's going to grow your business. That's what you do in that space, what most businesses do, okay? What they do in that space is they shrink and they pull in. They stop spending money on marketing. They stop spending money on the things that are going to grow their business, and they pull in. And it's almost like they prepare for impact. right? This is why this matters. This is why knowing who your person is matters. And the reason that I'm doing this call tonight is because I talk a lot about it with copy and that sort and messaging and that sort of thing, because it's the clear and present. It's the here and now. It's the front and center, right? But what I wanted you to understand is how it plays into all of it, how it really matters with all of it. When you get it right, it's so good. And you have the business you wanted. You had the business you dreamed of that you thought was maybe a pipe dream, right? You have it, and it's real. You could be, I don't know about you, but this is like, for me, this is what success looks like for me these days. From a financial side, success is always, I want to have enough money for the bills, and I want to have at least 20% more to be able to save money and blah blah blah. And whenever it starts to go way beyond that, you're just like, oh my goodness, that's amazing, right? So that's from a financial side, that's success. Success to me, from an interpersonal way, success to me means, for me in specific, it means that the businesses that I work with are growing. It means that people are feeling less stress, that they're feeling more excited about being able to do what they do, that that their life is changing, that their dreams are happening. And I think the most important thing for me, you guys, is something I'll never see. It's the, like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall. It's the moments that their kids look to them and think, oh my gosh, they're doing it. Like, they did it. I'm so proud of my mom and dad. I'm so proud that they have this, right? Like, in those moments, not only does that appeal to the parent, and because I know when your kid is proud of you, there's no better feeling. But the most important part of that is that when a kid sees a parent succeed like that, in a world where a lot don't, that kid's life is going to be different. What that kid believes is available to them or for them in their life is different, right? It's changed. And it's changed because of what they did, right? And so for me, that's what drives me. That's success for me. So like I said, I'll never even get to see what really drives success for me. But that's it. And I know that it happens. I know that it happens because I've heard things, right? I've heard parents have told me things, and every time they tell me, it makes me very, very happy. I just don't get to see it. I don't get to see it. But what does success mean to you? I mean, it's something to think about. But if you're wanting, I'm doing an event. It's a 3-day virtual event. I'll pop the link in here. It's, let me grab the link. It's Monday through Wednesday. I'm only doing it once this year. If you can't go to it live, it's okay. You'll get the, come on. There we go. You'll get the recordings of it. Okay. So if you want to go to it, that's cool. If not, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. But here is the link to it. But if you want to go to it, that's cool. If not, no big deal. But I'm going to not only be drilling down on all of these concepts so you know them, so you understand them, right? But I'm also going to be giving you tools to help you figure this stuff out for yourself and be able to do a lot of this stuff for yourself. Okay. So, that's what I want to let you know about it. You can read through the whole sales page if you want to. I'm a sales page reader. I enjoy reading through a sales page and seeing all the different things, but just know the outcome of it is, I'm going to give it all to you guys. I don't have the times on that page. So it's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, it's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. And that's because I speak for SCORE. After that, at literally 1 o'clock, I'm going to be going from one to the other. But that's going to be that. So yeah, my goal for you guys for that event is that that you fully understand your stuff. It's going to be workshop style. Okay. I really love doing workshop style. I've talked to you guys before. I love hype, but I hate hype without results. Okay. So I do love hype, but if it's hype without results, you can miss me with that. I want to get you results. And so we workshop things. I don't want you to sit and watch for, even the first day. I don't want you to sit and watch for a day and then leave and say, okay, now what do I do? No, we're doing it. We gonna be doing it. Okay. And then, like I said, if you can't make it, it's no big deal. I understand it's during the workday and not everybody can, but you'll get the recordings, but you won't be able to buy this afterward. Okay. So I just want to make that super, super clear. This isn't a thing where, hey, Martha, can I grab that later? It's not. Well, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Every single month, I've got a topic that I'm covering. This is this month's topic, right? So, because it's so important to build on for everything else. Okay. So make sure that you grab it if you want to. What questions can I answer for you guys? What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 6:42. We're doing good on time. Excited for the workshop. Awesome. Me too, Sherry. Let me see what you said up here, Jeannie. Honestly, where I have been, I'm ready to get excited about this again. Life knocked me down. I'm still walking out some of the crud, finding me again. God first, and the rest will fall into place. That's it. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. That's it, girl. That's it. I think we tend to gloss over seek first the kingdom of God. We tend to gloss over that. That's first and foremost. That's it. That's it. What else are we doing? Let's see. Oh, tears. Yes, those are the best moments. No better feeling. Girl, I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Melissa, I'm just excited to get rolling. I'm so ready for this. We're doing it. This is we're going to get cranking. We're going to get cranking. We will talk about branding. Yeah, there will be some branding in it for sure. There's going to be some branding stuff. What else do we do that has branding in it? Yeah, well, it won't be visual branding because I don't ever cover visual branding, but when you're talking about who your person is, that's branding, right? That's how you brand. The visual side of it is what you want to do with it. I don't talk about visual stuff because that's why I wear plain shirts and jeans, right? I'm not a visual person. I'm not great with all of that stuff. I wear plain colors. I'm basically like Mr. Rogers. I'm kind of like Mr. Rogers. But anywho, there's that. All right, guys. Well, if there is nothing else, no big deal. I'm going to go get some activity. I need to probably hop on the Peloton for a bit. Love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.